There are many things in this world that make loud noises, like fireworks or screaming babies, but only a few that make a sonic boom, like a jet. But I don't have the budget or the skills to make a jet, so how hard can it be to make a whip? Our first step is to head into Fusion 360 to make a handle. Now, you don't have to model and print this, I'm just doing it because I can. You can use PVC pipe or anything rigid and wide enough. And there's no specific measurements, you just need whatever's comfortable for you. Mine's about 8 inches long. There's a wider part at the top where the paracord's going to go in and a hole at the bottom. So, we've got a handle now, we just need to cut some paracord. Now, my recommendation for this is measure it somewhere where you can get the full length. Don't do what I'm doing. It's stupid. For our first length we need 8 feet, plus a little bit extra for the fall, which is what makes the crack. And then we're just going to cut off 9 more pieces of incremental lengths. I can't count, so some of them are have bigger gaps between them than others, but it's about 8 inches or so. And then we want 3 extra cords that are the same length as some of the others, so maybe 9, 7 and 5, or 9, 5 and 3. And this is what we're going to fill with weight to make our whip crack. We just take the core out, melt one of the ends, and we're going to fill it with BBs. So now we're just melting the opening around something metal. Careful, it gets hot. It's just so it's big enough that we can force them in. We're going to seal this end off after we filled it with BBs. And now it's time to fill it with BBs. And you'll notice that I'm pouring them into the core of the paracord we just taken out, and that definitely won't come back to bite me later. There you go, who would have guessed? But now we're just forcing the BBs down, 1 or 2 at a time. It's a struggle to do more, but you just want to fill the entire length of paracord with BBs. Now, I made the mistake of using my fingernails when I was forcing the BBs down, and it made a hole. Don't do this, because you'll end up having to patch it up, and it's fine, it worked, but just avoid this. And then here we are, there's our 3 lengths of paracord that are filled with BBs. Now we're gathering all the ends of our paracords, and we're taping them up, leaving a little bit of length to go down the handle. And we're forcing it down the handle. We're just going to grab it through the hole we made earlier, pull it taut, and tape around it. We do not want this to fall back through the handle. Now we're taping at the top of the handle. We want to tape around the paracord strands and at the top of the handle. You will need to use a lot of tape. Use much more tape than this, much more than you think you need to. 2, 3, 4 times the amount you think you want, because I had to do it again. I didn't have enough the first time. Now the handle's sorted, we want to tape in 6-inch sections along the handle just to keep the cords together. Try and keep it taut and not twisted. You can see I didn't do a great job, but it does still work, and we want it to work. We don't need it to look pretty. Now it's time to wrap the whip, so we'll just stick the handle in the vise. And we've got some athletic tape. It's cloth, it's flexible, and it should hold all our strands together to make our whip. Now this process is pretty easy, it just takes a while. I found it quite tedious. Just stick with it, it'll be fine. There's also a way you can make this process much easier, and that's not having the big old roll to contend with. Just cut it into manageable strips, it works much better. Now all there's left to do is test it out, and disclaimer, whips really hurt.